A very good evening to our viewers. Welcome to Elite TV and you're watching Open Debate in English. I'm your host, Chongtham, Amrita, and today we're going to be discussing and debating on the topic, Two Centers of Power in Manipur. On the 2nd of October last year, the Hijam Express reported that the Chief Minister hinted at Article 355 being in effect in Manipur by noting that the Chief Minister was no longer chair of the Unified Command, but no official document has been confirmed so far. On the 31st of October, the State Cabinet outlawed the World Kokizo Intellectual Council, the WKZIC, under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, and yet no members have been apprehended till today. This raises the questions about the effectiveness of the Cabinet's decisions, particularly on law and order issues. On the 15th of January this year, a confidential warning from the Chief Minister's Secretary about potential ethnic violence in Joribam was ignored by the DGP and Security Advisor. The violence erupted on 6th of June and it led to a public outcry. Additionally, the Chief Minister was excluded from the high-level security meeting that was held at New Delhi on the 17th of June, chaired by the Home Minister Imphal. These events suggest that the central government is effectively in charge of Manipur, leaving the state government to itself. The Chief Minister, unable to fulfill his commitments due to this de facto shift of power, he is left to making statements in media, leading to public frustration over the dual centers of power, one a virtual and one a real, but completely undeclared. To discuss and debate on this matter, let us take a moment to introduce our panelists for tonight. So our first panelist for tonight, who will be joining through online from Delhi, is Oja Junior Luwang, Advocate, Supreme Court of India. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our second panelist for tonight is Dr. Konjengbam Chandrakumar, Economic and Political Analyst. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you.
And our third panelist for tonight is Oja Hijam Chandrakumar, Advocate. Welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you for having me here.
I'll first start with Oja Junior Luwang for this to set the floor on this debate. I'll first come to you, Oja. The thing is that on the 25th of June 2023, last year, the Chief Minister, upon his return from New Delhi, he declared that Shri Amit Shah will be in charge of the hills and he, the Chief Minister, will be in charge of the valley. That was declared upon his arrival at the airport itself. What does this mean? Because till today there has been no clarification regarding the words that has been uttered on that day. And do you think, the question is that I'd like to ask to you is that does the central government have divested all of the powers of governing of the hill areas from the Chief Minister? Because if that is the fact, then why don't the central government put it down in black and white in paper? Because why is there so many secrecy regarding this matter? First of all, let's start with that, Oja Junior Luwang.
Yeah, Amrita, I was looking for a news report on Google, but somehow I couldn't find it. But if at all what is reported is correct, I actually feel that he is speaking the truth, the ground truth. What is actually prevalent in Manipur is that the state government of Manipur has limited powers vis-a-vis the hilly areas. There's a fact of life. Let's live with that. So I think he's speaking from his heart. He was speaking from his heart rather, and that's the plain truth at the ground level. Now, let's say as to why the central government is trying to control the administration of Manipur, specifically the law and order, could be because of various reasons. Not because it wants it, not because it desires the state government not to function, but it's because of the ground realities and the requirements on the ground. That's my second submission.
Yeah.
Now the third part is that all that you have said about the central government trying to somehow push in the provisions of, say, Article 355 in Manipur, without invoking 356. 356 is basically an emergency which will bring down the government permanently or with some semblance of suspension. After 6 months, then we get revived. There are provisions to that effect. I will not get into it. Now, It's the first issue of the Chief Minister himself, acknowledging or admitting that the state government will have powers over the plain areas, whereas hill areas are being taken care of by the central government. I think there are some indications to that effect, whether we like it or not. One, as you said rightly, that there was a high-powered security meeting in New Delhi, which basically excluded the Chief Minister. Of course, there are a lot of debate on that, whether he was right or wrongly excluded, but the fact that he was excluded. So that is a pointer to the fact that the central government has its own opinion or view on the law and administration in Manipur, independent of what the Chief Minister has. Maybe that the central government wanted to have independent opinions of the law enforcement agencies in Manipur, more particularly the security forces. I mean, I was told that even the incoming Chief of Army Staff was there. Chief of Army was there in the meeting. If the Chief of Army Staff, the incoming Chief of Army Staff was there, I don't see any reason as to why the Chief Minister was not there. So that is indicative of the fact that the central government wants to have its own assessment, make its own plan, to an extent independent of the state government. Presumably for the hill areas. That's one say important development. Second is that the Home Minister himself met the Governor of Manipur. I believe it was a one-to-one meeting, in the sense that of course there will be some assistants and other people helping the Honorable Home Minister, but there also could be a pointer to the fact that the Home Minister wanted to have a view, an honest opinion from the Governor, because under the Constitution, the Governor is the head of the state. He reports directly to the Chief Minister. Basically, he was here as a liaison agent between the representative government and the central government. So that, to that extent, that also is a pointer to the fact that the central government is no longer trusting the state government to the extent it used to. So that's the second indicator. Now the third part is that of course, there is no official declaration of Article 355 or invocation of Article 355 in Manipur. And as I've been saying in some such sessions in some platforms, see, there has not been any occasion of invocation of Article 355 only in history of India.
Right.
Till now.
Right.
Because if you look at it, 355 and 356 are twin sections of or articles of the Indian Constitution. These two provisions, 355 and 356, are always invoked together whenever any internal emergency is required and whenever any state government is found to be not functioning as per the provisions of the Indian Constitution. So to that extent, there is no official declaration of invocation of Article 355 in Manipur, but there is every semblance of invocation of Article 355, as you pointed it out in your opening remarks.
Right.
See, Kuldeep Singh is in charge of law and order, and I don't think he reports to the Chief Minister directly. Maybe he gives information to the Chief Minister as and when required, but not as a matter of duty. I think he reports to the Home Ministry directly. So that coupled with a lot of other facts about say the deployment of central forces and wherever it is required, mainly in the hill areas and in the peripheries between the plain areas and the hill areas. So that, I think, is indicative of the central government having a huge administrative say in Manipur, more specifically on say law and order. And the reasons could be varied. I mean, I would rather see it more of politics rather than what is actually required on the ground. Of course, we all know it. The central government must be knowing it. The Manipur government, as such, is not fully able to establish its jurisdictions across the length and the breadth of Manipur, especially in the areas. The question to be asked, I mean, we have to answer this question, whether there is a complete breakdown of law and order machinery or the administrative machinery in Manipur. So there's a question which is troubling a lot of people, the central government and the state government. But when I say political reasons, because see the crisis started on May 3rd, 2023, and there was a time when the general election for the Lok Sabha, for the parliament was quite close by. So the BJP as such, since it was ruling both at the center and the state, couldn't be seen sacking a BJP government in the state, which was Manipur then. So now, because it would give a very wrong political message to the electorate in Manipur that the BJP cannot take care of its own state government. It has sacked its own state government, which has never happened in the history of India, except for one occasion in Punjab, when Indira Gandhi sacked the Punjab government. But there was a very rare occasion, the only occasion where the state government ruled by the same political party has been sacked by the political dispensation, of course, the same party at the center. So to that extent, there is some kind of a subtle politics there, and as I said, that's more for political reasons. Even today, the same situation continues. There is no precedent rule. There is no official invocation of either Article 355 or 356. But I think what we see on the ground is as good as invocation of both articles. State government has to exist because it is representative of a huge section of the Indian of the state. Of course, the state assembly as a whole represents all the communities in Manipur, the Kukis, Nagas, and Meiteis. So that's the hard fact of life, and let's see what happens and how it develops soon. But as we go along, somehow, I think we have to cut the ice. We have to break the ice, and then we see for solutions. Whether we should actually go for a full-fledged war, or encourage the full-fledged tensions between two communities and see who wins. But that I don't think is a solution. That is basically very dangerous and dangerous incitement to an already volatile situation. Somehow a peace process has to start, and I'm told that this already started, and we should look at the international models of conflict resolutions in such similar circumstances, like say a circumstance where there is a clash between you can say the original inhabitants. I will not name the community, and a community which has come from somewhere, or supposed to have come somewhere with a different background. Two communities with two different religions, one majority, another minority. Majority supposed to be the indigenous community, and the minority community, a sizable community, but of a different say religious background. We should look at the international models at the international level and see how those issues were resolved. I could think of two different say such resolutions in the world. Both in Nigeria, I mean, I spoke about it on some of the platform also. One happened in the Jos city in Nigeria, another in the Plateau Island in Nigeria. The same thing happened, and then the issues were resolved. But again, it's a choice of the people, it's a choice of the communities as to the way forward. What is the best forward for both the communities, for all the communities, and for the state of Manipur as well.
Indeed, thank you for your opening remarks, Junior Luwang. The thing that comes out from your statement is that the major point of contention is now being this thing of whether Article 356 or 355 is in effect in the state, but why there is no official document regarding that. And of course, that is the major point of contention of today's topic as well. Now, moving on to our second panelist of tonight is I'll be addressing, since we have two guests with a similar name, so I'll be addressing to Dr. Konjengbam Chandrakumar as Oja. So Oja, as a political analyst, my question to you is that, as our previous panelist has said, that of course there needs to be a peace process definitely for this. So the government has appealed to the people for their cooperation regarding to bringing about of peace and normalcy in the state. But since there has been no transparency from the side of the government, since the government is moving about in secrecy, how can the people come forward to make this peace process a successful one? What are your thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. Your question is absolutely right. Yeah, the government appeals for cooperation from the public to bring peace normalcy in the state.
Right.
It is really absolutely correct, and I must say that this is very important, and without cooperation there is no normalcy in the state, and it is really in need, indeed, the public cooperation to the government, to the state, and they have some governments. Good leadership is very important, and good leadership is the instrument to change our society or this government. So good leadership is very important, and they have the confidence. Good leadership makes confidence to the peoples, and without people's cooperation or public cooperation, and there is no normalcy in the state. It must not bring normalcy in the state. That is why public cooperation is, people's public cooperation is very important for the normalcy in the state. But the Home Minister declared that in the Parliament there is normalcy in Manipur state, but till now there is no normalcy in the state. Now in Jiribam crisis, Jiribam district, and now in everywhere far and wide in the peripheric area, Kadangban and Yangyangpupi side also, there is firing every day, every night, every day, but no normalcy.
Right.
However, that there is a public cooperation, and that the government of Manipur, or they have some secrecy to express or for the normalcy with the in the state, but it should be expressed to the people, and they should control to the peripheric area, that the militants are attacked in the villages like in the like Kadangban and Yangyangpopi and Phokokchau Ikhai and Suganu, and in everywhere, and not only this in the plain area, that there is also at Jiribam district and in the Assam border, and there is the Borobeka area also. Till now they have been the Kuki militants are attacked every day, and they fire the house of the Meiteis. And yesterday also Kokomi also going to Jiribam and to help on the way to go to Borobeka. They are also attacked, ambush on the way. Kokomi of Manipur, they also back on the way. And one CRPF Jawan, Ajoy Kumar Mishra, Ajoy Kumar Jha, he was also shot dead on his forehead, and he killed immediately in the ambush. And two police personnel, one is who is serving in the Jiribam police station as sub-inspector. One is the he is also injured. He is from Rameswar, from Thawal district, and another one is that from Laimapokpam, Bishnupur district. He also injured. His name is Ravi Chandra. He also injured his leg, and such like this. Yesterday also happened. Such like this ambush and attack by the Kuki militant every day in Jiribam, in everywhere, far and wide in Manipur. Kuki militants are firing and attack day and night. They never had any rest time. That is why there is no normalcy in our in the state, even though the Home Minister or the Prime Minister even did declare or they announced normalcy in Manipur state. Till now, there is no normalcy.
Oja, you have mentioned a very important point that the government needs to build these confidence-building measures from the government. So, can you suggest some of what can the government do as a step towards confidence building for the public to build back the trust towards the government?
the government should do something for, leadership is very important.
Okay.
Then they should, leadership make confidence to the people. That is, after that confidence, then leadership is the leader of the state, and he should do something for the welfare of the people and to protect the property and right, fundamental rights of the people.
Right.
It was given by the Indian Constitution. But in Manipur, the central government does not protect the fundamental rights and directive principle, enforce directive principle of state policy and right to citizenship in Manipur state, that they are not protecting. It is a kind of insultation in our state, this present moment, this present scenario of Manipur. And why Manipur is in India, it is not a part of foreign, it is in the international border. Why that the central government does not like to see or to protect, to take care about the Manipur state? Still now they are neglecting. There is some conspiracy with the cookie militants or some political games in this international border.
Okay,
Manipur
that's a
is,
very good point.
yeah.
I'll come back to you again in the second round. You have brought up a very good point on that. So I'll come back to you again. And now moving on with this discussion and debate, I'll move on to Advocate Chandrakumar. The thing is that Hijam Chandrakumar has also said regarding this collusion with the cookie militants, and since it has been spoken about a lot in many platforms, I'd like to bring up a point to Advocate Chandrakumar, that recently the Chief Minister said that talks are underway with both sides of the community to bring about peace. And then this statement has been quickly responded from the Kuki community's side, saying that there has been no such talks from the side of the Kuki CSOs. And today it has also come out, one of this key information that has taken place on the 22nd of June this year, that the Chief Minister had gone to Guwahati, and there has been some secrecy regarding that visit, and it has come out that the Chief Minister has indeed met with 2 MLAs and 1 Mar leader, Joseph Mar, on 22nd of June at Guwahati. So the names of the MLAs are the MLAs are Haukolet Kipgen from the Saitu AC and Ngursung Lur Sanate from the Chipaipung AC. So it has been reported today in the papers that the Chief Minister had indeed met them, and the Kuki CSOs have declared them as traitors and even warned them of punishment. They even threatened to burn down their houses for having this talk. So my question is, will this kind of clandestine and back channel meeting be of any help in bringing about peace and normalcy in the state? Because these people have already been disowned by their own community. So what use is there if their people is not interested in not going to listen to any of this from the side of the government? What are your thoughts?
Amrita, we all know that since the 3rd of May 2023,
Right.
Manipur is facing an unprecedented crisis, or rather violence, during which more than 200 persons were killed, and there are still reported missing of persons, and 67,000 persons are rendered homeless, and they are languishing in relief camps in inhuman conditions. And Amrita, I visited one of the relief camps in Moirang. In fact, I cannot find the exact words to describe their condition. The word worse does not even qualify to explain their situations on the ground. Then, so with this never-ending crisis, so which is now ongoing and it's lasting since then for almost 15 months, state must reign over the violence, and perpetrator of these violence must be booked and brought to justice,
Right.
to reassert that there is a state and there is rule of law. Then in the circumstances, Chief Minister's statement that talks are underway with the both sides to bring peace and normalcy, to me come out as a oasis in the desert. If it is a credible information and correct. If not, then it will bring it will be some kind of mirage
Right.
which disappear as it is illusion. As Tamo Junior Luwang also has rightly pointed out that the peace process is a must in the present scenario. So, as I said, the state must stamp its authority, and as such, it cannot allow the civil society to run the show. And I'm coming to your query that civil society is boycotting and threatening elected representatives' house to be burned down.
Right.
So to that I'm saying, like, in my opinion, that the state must stamp its authority to reign over the violence, and it cannot allow the civil societies to run the show. So state cannot allow the civil societies to undermine the authority of the elected representatives.
Of course. Very good point.
In democracy, this representative represents the will of the people. For those who are showing reservations to the talks, must come out in a legitimate way, but not by blackmailing the elected representative with the threat of violence. And to your query as to whether the secretive or back channel meeting be of any help in bringing peace and normalcy, I believe in that saying that there's something is better than nothing.
Okay.
Besides, the initiation of peace process is highly called for, as Tamo Junior also rightly called out, and I think we should support the government of the day to use its own prerogative, to use every means to find peace and bring normalcy. The state should not succumb to the pressure of any form of pressure or violence, or blackmailing. And as per my opinion, civil society is we say Cookie NP do not represent the will of the people,
Right.
or the will of the community as a whole, and we should rather more give emphasize or give emphatic emphasis on the opinion of the people's representative, as you mentioned, the Tipaimuk SC MLA and the Saitu Assembly Constituency MLA.
Yes.
And they were threatened and
Been declared as traitors as well.
Yes. And who are these CSOs who declare them as traitors when they are elected by the majority of the votes?
Of course.
That's my opinion, Amrita.
Very good point, because the CSOs are running around trying to dictate how to run a state, when in fact majority of the problems that we are facing today are almost started from a lot from these misunderstandings, so to speak. Now moving on to Oja Junior Luwang, as we names have surfaced on the papers today regarding the Mar community having talks with the Chief Minister on the 22nd of June, and also from recent reports, the Chief Minister stating that talks have started from what communities regarding this peace process. So who will represent the Meitei community? Who do you think has represented Meiteis? Do you think that any Meitei representatives have spoken with the Chief Minister regarding this, and also in the presence of the other communities, or who do you think should represent the Meitei communities if it at all such a talk does happen?
Yeah, Amrita, technically speaking, it should be the MLAs. The Meitei MLAs will be representing the Meitei interests. Key MLAs will be representing the Kuki interests, and Naga MLAs will be representing the Naga interests. But since it is inter-community clash between two communities, of course, exclude the Naga MLAs. So technically and legally speaking, they are the two true representatives of the people, since they have been elected by the respective community members. So this funda number one. Second, the fact of the matter is that since May 3rd, the MLAs have not been successful in resolving the issue, treating them as our own representatives, feeling the pulse of the people. But the fact remains that they have failed till today. I mean, more than much water has gone down. More than 1 year has gone by. No solution visible in the horizon. Now, The third thing is to realize the failure of our representatives to arrive at an amicable solution acceptable to the both parties. Then what is our solution? I mean, your question is, in the face of failure of our elected representatives,
Indeed.
now what is the way forward?
Yes.
Who should represent us, because our elected representatives have failed. Now, as I was telling you in the first round, that for this we should look at the international models, where conflicts of this nature have cropped up in different parts of the world, in Indonesia, in Philippines, in say Nigeria, in Sudan, in other
Yes.
conflict zone areas. Then look for a solution which could be acceptable to us, and which has succeeded in those areas of conflict. I was pointing it out, the case of Jos City and another island, the Plateau Island in Nigeria, where they have some kind of a semblance to our demographic composition. The indigenous versus the alleged non-indigenous, major community belonging to one community and other community which is of sizable nature but with different religious background. That's why I was pointing out these two conflict zones where the tension had crop up between two different communities of this nature, similar in demographic composition, similar in religious background, and those were resolved. And the model which they have adopted was that the government had constituted a committee from both sides of people representing every interest in life. So some from the church, some from the mosques, some trade union leaders, some sportsmen, and some industrialists, and some with different. Of course, politicians were there. That's how it was resolved. These two resolutions, and of course, these two examples, analogies, I would say. So again, we should also customize. It's not that what succeeds in one part of the world should succeed in Manipur.
Indeed.
We should customize the solution parameters as per requirement, and that I think is something which is required in Manipur. But having said that, we should also look at facets which are acceptable to the other community. Like for example, I'll just give an example, not that it will be acceptable. In such peace committees, I think we should look for people who are acceptable to other community. One example being that Hong Kong Swan, I think one of the spokespersons, I would say, or other intellectuals from the Kuki community who I think kept on giving interviews to media, including the one to Karan Thapa. I think he came forward with a name who could be acceptable to the Kuki community, and he suggested Ratan Thiam's name. If at all Ratan Thiam is acceptable to them, being an artist or being a man of philosophy, could be that we should look forward for other people of similar background in addition to him. And similarly from the Kuki community also, maybe that we can suggest some names who have some kind of a respect in the society across communities, who would be not necessarily communal in his views. So what is happening today is that the whole you can say narrative has been controlled by people with communal. Of course, we should think about community. We should think about our community interests, our own interests, family interests. That's natural for all the human beings. But sometimes we have to be able to also get out of this comfort zone and see what would be acceptable to other party and to ourselves for a lasting peace in Manipur, because that is possibly the only way out, because we can't think of finishing one another. That I think would be a little barbaric. Of course, all these issues have to be resolved. The flaring of violence, this and that. That's a short-term measure. We keep on controlling them. We keep on punish the accused, the perpetrators. Apart from that, the long-term solution is peace committees.
Right.
Referring to those incidents which they have referred to, meeting in Guwahati, and then I think 2 MLAs from the other community, and I think one of the representatives from the Mar community, the Mar I should say that. It's very unfortunate that some organization from the Kuki community is condemned such a peace process, and in fact they have issued a little press note castigating their own people. That I think could be a bad note to start with. But looking at it, it could be a very strategic move also. They want peace, but they don't want to acknowledge it as on today, because they want to be seen as, as big and powerful and not afraid of the other community. So there could be some kind of a posturing for better optics. Maybe that those three people have come with their own with their consent or approval, but outwardly, for optics purposes, they don't acknowledge it in the public. They keep on issuing these press notes, castigating them. But let it go on. But somewhere down the horizon, there will be a time when both communities are tired of killing one another, and then I think that's a timeline where our representatives, the people who are respected across all the communities, should come forward, try to strike a resolution which should be acceptable to both the communities. So that I think is the only way out. While we keep on thrashing out our differences and difficulties and taking the law and order situation, not only in Jiribam but also in other places where there is a potential of violence at any point of time. So there is something I think which the central government and state government have to keep in mind. Both processes, the law and order problem, the conflicts, the possible classes, the actual classes, potential classes, grade them accordingly, put or deploy the forces accordingly, while at the same time resorting to or trying to have peace committees from both sides, and then see whether peace is possible in the near future. So that's something which I would like to say.
A very good point. But before we go to the next panelist, Oja Junior, can you please check your sound, because the audio that we received from you is very weak. Either maybe it could be an internet connection issue, or maybe your mic is a little lower. So please adjust that, and then we'll come back to you again in the next round. Now, okay. Oja Junior has just brought up a very good point, that there are many type of similar conflicts, but there is no one resolution that fits all, because this kind of solutions need to be customized to that conflict itself. So on that note, there is still just one thing that can be done, that can be applied to many such conflicts, especially with respect to armed conflict, that there can be a ceasefire. So I'll carry that question to our economic and political analyst, Dr. Konjengbam Chandrakumar. So please share your thoughts regarding that, because I would like to know from you is that, should not there be a ceasefire pact first? And if there is a ceasefire pact, who will monitor them and who will set the ground rules? Because we know that regarding an international conflict, the UN peacekeeping force are there to prevent any kind of firing activity to happen. And since this is an internal conflict, what can be done? Who will monitor such a ceasefire? Even if there is a ceasefire pact, who will monitor them? Who will set the ground rules? What are your thoughts?
Amrita, yeah, your question is absolute right. Yeah, is ground rules that may be include in the ceasefire. Yeah, is mandatory. Yeah, it is also that there is a ceasefire, there is a peace conference, or there is a peace talk on behalf of the government of Manipur, Chief Secretary, or and Chief Minister, or from the central government, like Home Minister, and like that. There is the ceasefire, peace talk. After the peace talk, peace conference or peace talk, and after that ceasefire will come. Then there is the ceasefire. Then,
but don't you think, Oja, that before there is a talk, first there should be a ceasefire pact, and that made sure that there is no more firing? For that process, talks to continue. Don't you think so?
Yeah, for the future plan, no more violence or no more problems should not be happen. After the ceasefire should be last, and there is a peace conference or peace talk, by the central government, as I said, and this they have the ground rules, and that there is after the ceasefire, then the undergrounds or the militants should surrender their arms and ammunition to the government,
Right.
Central government or the state government on behalf of their leaders, and they should surrender. After that, they are declared as returnee in the return home or return as returnee, and they have the camp, for them. And the camp should be protected or by the supervised or by the government of Manipur or on behalf of government of India, like that. I mean that SP or they are according to the rules and regulations. There is a SP of a district or DC like that, and they should give salary or some remuneration, and which they are coming in the social life like with their family in the camp, and it should be strictly selected, whether supervised, whether that these are the returnee or these are the returnee or these people are correct or not, like that. They should be strictly supervised day and night, or what they should join in the mainstream of the social life, with their family, and government should give remuneration or salary or some expenditure, financial support to the camp returnee of these ceasefire people, like this. It's happened that it may not be once happened violence, and once they have been integrated in the mainstream of mainstream in like this surrender, then it should be the permanent peace solution, permanent peace settlement.
A very good point from you, Ajah. Now moving on to Advocate Chandrakumar. As we have heard from our panelists as well, and also keeping in line with today's topic regarding this two centers of power, I'd like to ask from you is that why is the central government keeping the state government in the dark and also keeping the state government without any powers? Because as I've mentioned in the opening remarks as well, and also as we all know, there is the chief minister is not the head of the unified command, and hence there is a de facto two centers of power in the state already in such a small state. So at such a political situation, what are the powers that the state government can exercise, and also is the central government keeping the government as a scapegoat in case any undesirable outcome does happen in the end?
To your first query, I believe that Honorable Chief Minister of Manipur is better person to answer that question. The reason, whatever may be, keeping an elected government powerless is a direct onslaught on the autonomy of the state. So India, as all we know, like it's a union of states, and we are enjoying and we are having a federal structure where the states enjoy certain autonomy, but rendering a state government powerless at this juncture will do more harm than good, as the law and order is being a state subject exclusively. So now we are having a law and order issue also.
Right.
So making a state, particularly our CM, Honorable CM, powerless will do more damage than good. And on the floor of the House itself, that is in the Parliament, the Honorable Home Minister Amit Shah already stated that the Chief Minister of Manipur is cooperating to the central government, be it in appointment of security advisor, DGP or Chief Secretary. When asked and questioning about the changing of the Chief Minister of the state, rather instead of making this cooperating CM as a pertinent issue, the Honorable Union Home Minister should have see whether the Honorable Chief Minister and the present Chief Minister now commands the confidence of the general public or not, particularly during this mayhem in the state. And yes, the state government must act and show some spine to establish the authority, not on the union but also on the state itself. And a decisive action on the ground is found wanting, Amrita. To court Caesar's wife must be above suspicion. In the same way, a leader of the state must be above suspicion, and he must rise above religion, caste and community. And that is the only way forward for the state now, the idea of Manipur to bring forward.
Very beautiful point, Advocate Chandrakumar. Now moving on to Judge Junior Luwang. Now I'd like to discuss regarding this elected assembly that we have, the elected MLAs, the composition of the assembly of the elected government that we have in the state, and also how that has been treated. I'd like to know from you, Judge Junior Luwang. Today there has been a news article that we have come across, and I'd like to quote that the NPP MLA, Sheikh Nurul Hassan, he today warned the BJP-led government. He said that the NPP will stop supporting the government if it does not work in the people's interest. That was a statement that was given by this MLA of the NPP, and he also said that he has said such a warning. This is the third time that he has said that the NPP may withdraw the support to the BJP government if the BJP government does not work in the interest of the people. The first time that he said was in the month of September last year, and again this year, 2nd July, again he also has started saying this. So the thing is, why is an MLA starting to come out to speak such a thing that they will withdraw the support of the present elected government? And do you think that the state government is working against the interests of the people? What are your thoughts on that? We cannot hear you now, Oja Junior.
Can you hear me?
Okay, it's working.
Yeah, that's a very political question, but I will try to answer it since you have asked me. I think there are around 8 NPP members in our assembly, along with some from JDU, and of course, the BJP having 26, if I'm not wrong. See, that I think could be symbolic of the things that will come in the future. I am told that one of the NPP members met Nitish Kumar just after the Lok Sabha election, and I am told, or rather I was told, rightly or wrongly, that he was trying his luck to be at the top of affairs in Manipur. But that's a very unsubstantiated report which I heard. BJP and the JDU at the center being part of the alliance, the ruling alliance in Manipur. Maybe that the NPP SS could be thinking of, or rather imagining about some kind of a political formation in Imphal, where the NPP could take a leading role, and maybe that an MLA from some other community with some other religious background, neither a Christian, nor a Hindu, nor a Kuki, nor a Naga, or nor a Meitei. I mean, you know what I mean. So if possibly he projects himself as a possible community neutral. When I say community, it means the two warring communities, community neutral, and an objective person who could be able to bring peace in Manipur. So that possibly could be the idea he is selling, or he is rather trying to sell, because the NJ government being an alliance of different political parties, much weaker than it was before the assembly. But having said that, I would rather put it this way, that that's a very foolhardy approach, or rather some kind of a rather impossible reality which they are trying to imagine in their mind. One, because the present political dispensation led by the BJP will survive even if all the NPP members withdraw their support from the present government. Because if you see, the BJP has a sizable number supported by other political parties, say, I think we have other political parties also. We have Kasantong and we have other people coming in. Of course, the 2-3 MLAs from the other people would also be supporting the BJP. They may not be part of the BJP political dispensation or part of the BJP political entity as such, but we all know that they are as good as a part of the BJP political dispensation. Whether BJP is a political party. So even if all the NPP members withdraw their support to the present government, I don't think any danger will be posed to the present political dispensation.
Okay.
So maybe they are having a too optimistic view of themselves and their role in the coming future. They are trying that, but I don't think it will succeed. So that's my
but what about his statement? He also mentioned that if the government does not work in the people's interest, so what if, would you think that the government is working against the interests of the people?
Well, see, I would rather put it this way, that it's more of a political posturing rather than an actual threat. That they want to be seen as, working for the people, and they want to be seen as pulling up the government, the present government. If we don't perform, and we are out. So that, I think, is a constituency pressure from their own constituencies to be seen as working harder. It's all about posturing, and it's about optics in this moment of crisis. Because see, the solution doesn't lie in the hands of 2-3 MLAs or 6 MLAs or 8 MLAs. The solution lies in both short-term and long-term measures, which are beyond the control of a lot of MLAs. Even if 20-30 MLAs, 60 MLAs so far have not been able to bring in peace. Rather, they are all divided on community lines, which is a very sad reality in Manipur. So I don't think that any kind of statement made by any of the NPP members has real meaning in this sense. No practical implication at that sense. It's just about posturing and then being seen or an attempt to be seen as threatening the government, because you see, these politics is more about flows. People will go the flow. The moment they see that a particular person or a particular political party is in bad public light, and then they don't want to be part of that bad public light, they go to the other side, and then next that means threatening and giving impression of not being a part of that bad apple.
Right.
So,
very good point. Yes.
Once you become a bad apple, people try to get away from you and then try to put you down, or whatever. That's all political part of it. Because after all, they have to face the people some years down the line. I suppose 3 years down the line,
right.
And then they don't want to be criticized for the right reasons or the wrong reasons, depending on our perspective. So that, according to me, is what is happening. So no threat, nothing. It's just about posturing and optics. Yeah.
Okay, very good points. Now, move on to Dr. Konjengbam Chandrakumar. I'll carry that point that made by Ojat Junior Luwang regarding that political posturing of the MLAs, that this is just not even a threat, this is just to build a public image in front of his supporters at least. So regarding that, I'd like to ask you that it seems as if the elected MLAs from the ruling government at least, that they are very active in the media itself, because they are trying to posture themselves, as Ojat Junior Luwang has said, as someone that is not the bad apple in the political class. But my question is, if this kind of attitude carries on, it will corrode the political class, it will corrode the quality of the politics of Manipur. So what do you have to say to that as a political analyst?
Amrita, yeah. Yes, in our Manipur, yeah, these situations, and that good leadership gives everyone confidence, and so that good leadership is very important in the state. And as we know that some states, like in neighboring states, some political leaders like West Bengal Mamata Banerjee and Meghalaya's Chief Minister Konrad Sangma and Mizoram's Chief Minister Lardoma. And even though, and not only this, and only the Assam Chief Minister, yeah, they are also that very active and leadership, but they have some, in comparison with Manipur state, they are more active and more effective their works as leadership quality. But in Manipur state also we have our chief minister also good, but I said he's also a good leader. But unluckily we have the trouble and these militants and some effective in our society and these civil war like clashes between Kuki and these Métis, or that. So our honorable chief minister, he would like to reform or to ban the drug or narcotics in the state business in the state, and he want to protect the forests and forests and poppy plantations and some poppy plantations in the forest area, and there is also the burning fire and make poppy cultivation plantation. It is also a disaster, a more harm to the environment and climate, or weather and climate in Manipur state. Or now that even that we have more natural calamities are facing, like flood. And recently also 2 times flood in the valley also there. There is drainage system also. The CM also reforming and protecting rules and regulations for the development of the state and society, as well as that is why the leadership is very important. Okay. But we should do more work and talk less, and without only instead of the talk and work is done, it is meaningless. That is why the government, Manipur government, should copy or the patrons of Meghalaya or Mizoram and West Bengal and Assam, Hemanta Biswa Sharma's pattern like that, and it should be more developing that. I think so.
Very good point, Oja. And I'd like to move on to Advocate Chandrakumar, and I'll let you have the closing remarks since we have come to the end of today's episode. And also, I'd like to know from you, my question from you is that how can the leader, as our Oja Chandrakumar also said, that the leadership is extremely important regarding a conflict-torn state. So how can the leader bring about, consolidate his power back to the state, and also how would you rate the performance of the current state government with regards to the handling of this crisis ever since the 3rd of May last year?
Amrita, I will leave that by saying in both inner and outer Manipur parliamentary constituencies, public have voted for the candidates nominated by Indian National Congress. So rhetoric will not help. Introspection and course correction on the part of the BJP government is now required at the priority. I would answer that directly.
Very good point, and very smartly said as well, Advocate Chandrakumar. And of course, just to summarize all our panelists for tonight, as we have come to the end, I'd like to give just a brief summary from what our panelists have said, that in such a small state like Manipur, and even a conflict-torn state, having 2 centers of power command is in fact will be more disastrous than good, because in fact for this for the central government or the state government to consolidate its power, they first need to build the confidence of the people and try to resolve the issue that is prevailing in the state as soon as possible through talks or ceasefire or whatever means that they can, and also build back the trust of the people. That's what the gist of today's debate and discussion. I'd like to thank once again our panelists for tonight, Oja Junior Luwang, Dr. Konjengbam Chandrakumar, and Advocate Hijam Chandrakumar for joining us today and sharing us your thoughts and opinions. Thank you all once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank our panelists, our viewers for tuning in tonight, and we will be back again next Monday with another topic. Until then, have a good week. This is Amrita signing off. Have a good night.